Hello, this is Rory with the Love Chat, and today's topic is intrusive thoughts. Now, this is video number 232. If you have a question you'd like for me to consider featuring on my channel, please write it in a comment below, and if you enjoy these videos, I'd be so very grateful, and it would help me a lot, if you would subscribe and hit like. Additionally, if you'd like coaching, I am offering a discount. Just head to thelovechat.net/coaching and use code TLC2020, and you can get a nice little discount on any coaching service that I currently offer on the website. So, what we're going to be doing today is talking about intrusive thoughts, and these are some of the most annoying things that can happen as a result of a breakup, or maybe even just rejection, not necessarily a breakup. Although most often that's why most of you are here or have found this channel. But let's discuss what intrusive thoughts are. Because on its face, it sounds pretty straightforward, right? They are thoughts that are intrusive. But more specifically, they're thoughts about your ex that are intrusive, and they can happen at random times during the day. It has nothing to do with what you're doing or what you might be doing, although sometimes they are exacerbated by those things. So for example, if you're passing a restaurant you and your ex used to go to, and this is an example I use quite a bit because it's relevant, you're going to feel even worse. You're going to think about them. But most often, it happens in the morning when you've just woken up, which is kind of hilarious in a way because you wake up, you feel good for about 5-10 seconds, and then it slowly onsets, right, I've been broken up with. That sucked. Or at night. Now, what's going on between the correlation there? Obviously, you have nothing going on right when you wake up or right at night when you're about to go to bed and things are winding down. And these are the times that people most often describe that they experience intrusive thoughts. That doesn't mean that you're not going to ever get intrusive thoughts at any point other than those two times. But what it does mean is that those are the times most people talk about. And so my suggestion is very simple. Let those thoughts hit you like a train. Experience them. Don't deny them. Sit with them. Get to know them. And as we progress, because this information is really based on a timeline, right? So if the breakup just happened, folks, it doesn't matter what the hell you do. You're not going to feel any better. It doesn't matter how often you go to the gym and talk to counselors. Within the first 2-3 weeks, it's going to hurt. It's supposed to hurt, guys. It's as if you just got cut and the cut is healing. It's going to take a little bit of time, no matter how much Neosporin and Band-Aids you put on it, to stop hurting. So I ask that you be realistic during the healing process. And in a way, it's almost kind of nice because you can't then turn around and beat yourself up and say, oh, well, see, I am not healing. There's something wrong with me. Well, at first, it's going to hurt no matter what you do. So no, there's nothing wrong with you. Now, as some time goes on, we can begin applying different things that will become more helpful. So the first thing that I suggest is, as you're hurting and as you're healing, from about 1 to 3 months, sit with your feelings. Don't try to dismiss them. Just let them hit you. Let them go through you. Because if you try to stop the feeling, if you try to explain away the feeling, it will exacerbate. Because you're trying to get rid of something that will not leave you no matter what you do for a period of time. Now, there's that saying that time heals all wounds. And there is truth in that, but it's a very specific truth. Time heals all wounds partially. And then the rest is up to you and doing those other things that I suggest. Things like meditation, the gym, talking with friends, talking with a counselor, and those will obviously all work. But when we talk about intrusive thoughts, we're talking about the more stubborn thoughts that won't quite go away. And this is really what people are getting at when they say intrusive, right? I'm doing what I need to do. I'm dealing with the thoughts. And yes, I feel better, but I don't feel completely better. What about those thoughts that no matter what I do, I cannot seem to get rid of? And so for that, I have a bit of different advice. And for those of you, maybe this advice will make you feel really good and give you something to do. Others, maybe you've tried it. And maybe you guys have found something a bit more helpful. And let's, as a community, pool together a list of things that maybe you have tried that's worked really well for you so that someone else in the comments can find some useful suggestions. What I say is write down a list of things about your partner that simply suck. You heard me right. Write down a list of things about your partner that are awful, right? That just are not attractive, are not fun. After a breakup, you're so busy thinking about their smile that you forget to focus on their frown. You're so busy thinking about that one romantic night you spent in Boca that you forgot that, oh yeah, but, we also got mugged, so that wasn't great. The real problem is that at the end of a breakup, and especially with these intrusive thoughts, you need to remember that you are your own worst enemy in many different ways, because we know that breakups, behaviorally, from many different brain scans of people going through breakups, depression, grief, things like that, activate a part of your brain that is along the same lines as addiction. In fact, it is the same part of the brain. And so if we treat ourselves not just as people who've been broken up with, because context is important, but if we treat ourselves as though we are addicts who need to understand that we are addicted, then it helps so much, because we begin thinking of it in a different sense, right? We stop thinking of, I'm sad and nothing will cure my sadness, and we start thinking of it as, I'm addicted and I need to think strategically. Because, folks, thoughts become reality in so many different ways. And so if you're sitting at home saying, well, I'll never get over this, that's it, I'll never be happy again, well, then you're right. You're setting the conditions for that to be the case. So rather than doing that and going down that rabbit hole of thought, create a list of reasons that your partner sucks and all of those little fights, and you can be as extreme as you need to be, because it's going to help you. So get nitpicky. Be annoyed how rather than squeezing the toothpaste from the end of the tube, they always squeeze it from the front, and that's annoying, right? And how they always put the toilet paper on the wrong side, or how no matter what you do, they always seem to nitpick everything. Find those reasons. It's helpful. Because, folks, I want you to all get in your most logical moment and pay as much attention to this part of the video as you can. How can you win your ex back in the event that situation presents itself if you are so busy kissing their ass because you think they are the greatest thing on earth, and you're kissing their ass so much your lips are chapped? How can they then look at you and think attractive? And I know it hurts, and I know you love your ex, and I know you want your partner back, and that might be in the cards. It might not, but it might. But do you know the number one thing that will kill it? Is if you cannot take them off the pedestal. Because they're going to look at you and say, you've not learned anything from this experience. So learn something. The honest truth is one of the reasons you're dealing with so many of these intrusive thoughts is because you're not letting go of that which is harming you. Now, let me be clear. I am not saying that letting go of an ex is an easy process. What I am saying is that sometimes we exacerbate the process without even knowing that we're doing it. And it's complicated. It's a hard thing to let go of somebody who we've had for so long, but we certainly don't make it easier by idealizing them or putting them on the pedestal or doing things we know that maybe we shouldn't be doing, like checking their social media. And the truth of all this is that, honestly, we can be part of the solution. We don't have to be part of the problem. And so if you're having intrusive thoughts, and you're doing everything else that we recommend, we're talking to counselors, we're going to the gym, we're journaling ourselves, we're writing lists of negative things about our partner, that way we can take them off the pedestal, and you're still having problems, after being able to say that you're honestly doing all of those other things, well, then I have one more suggestion left for you. Learn the lesson. Can you write down on a sheet of paper what you truly learned from this breakup? Now, I'm not asking for what did you learn as a jaded human being, like, oh, well, I learned never to love again because I'm just going to get hurt. That's obviously the wrong lesson to take away from this. But really explore the situation and say to yourself, what did I learn because this happened? How am I a better and stronger human being going forward because I have this life experience under my belt, which helps empower me and makes it that less likely to happen next time, and it much more likely for you to learn the skills of self-love and self-care and no contact and the principle of least interest and the law of attraction, as I've described it. Need to be clear about that one. And the fading affect bias and all that other stuff. Think about not what you've lost, but what you've gained, because you've gained a lot. And ultimately, 80% of life is getting out of your own way. So watch how you talk to yourselves, guys. You're all so hard on yourselves. But the truth is, you're all doing a lot better than you realize. That's all I had for today. If you found my video helpful, I'd be very grateful if you'd subscribe and hit like. Please leave a comment below with your personal tips and tricks as to how to get rid of intrusive thoughts, or at least make them better. If you'd like extra videos every week, private live streams with me, and giveaways of my best-selling book, until next time, just visit my Patreon, patreon.com/thelovechat. Until next time.